Started. All right, we're gonna get everything started here in just a few. Got some things I need to tie up. I know it's been a long week. It's been a long week, but your hero is here. Your hero is here. So welcome to this week's episode. And we will get started shortly. Let me just make sure these links go out. I'm a one-man army, Swiss Army knife, aka Commando Pro in this bitch. So I do everything myself. That's the way it works. That's the way I roll. May not be this week, but we'll find out. So get these things out here. It's like being self-marketing, doing a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so let me see. Oh, that's the traditional stuff that pops up on StreamYard. But all right, let me think we're good to go. All right, let's get it. Hey, what's up? Another week, another episode. It's Wednesday. It's What the Fuck Just Happened. Episode 27. In your face, clean as a whistle. For those that are listening, I shaved everything off. And I mean everything. Facially. I didn't touch any place else. If you was wondering, I don't know what you guys be thinking, but I did put it out on Instagram in the middle of the night that I can literally de-age in front of your face. Because the last time you guys saw me, I was an old man. I ain't an old man right now. So tonight's going to be interesting. Let's just say that. Tonight is going to be interesting for the fact that we are going to, well, actually, for right now, I am just waiting for my guest to get here. And it's going to be a sports talk type night. I figured it's called for, in lieu of, I know there hasn't been a First and Frame Rates episode since 2 weeks ago. And right now that the show is on hold for the time being. So until, it comes back, which I hope it comes back, I will do some makeshift changes along the way, but the core of this show is still going to remain the same. It's still going to be variety. It's still going to be, talking about like social events, gaming, what the fuck news, all that type of stuff. But, we are going to talk a little bit more sports. As you can see in the background, I have my Art Monk jersey and my own custom jersey. You can barely see it, but anyway. So tonight, in particular, is a good night to talk about sports because we are on the cusp of getting all these NFL schedules released for the 2021 season. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. There were already leaks that got out there. I know of about, well, if I'm focusing on Washington, I already know. I think we have 3 primetime games right now. 3 primetime games. I know we faced the Saints in week 5, apparently. We open up, obviously everyone knows we open up against the Chargers, which they got jokes. All right, well, jokes on them. We'll catch lightning in a bottle, bunch of bitch ass whatevers. And see, according to the schedule, we have Seattle. According to the leaks, let me correct myself. We have Seattle as a Monday night game, and we have the Cowboys as a Sunday night game. Don't know if that's, well, it definitely, if it's a Sunday night game, it's definitely not Thanksgiving, which they should put us back on Thanksgiving because, we whip that ass for free like we did this past Thanksgiving. Anyway, so I drew a blank for a second, but let me get these intros, get this admin out the way. So those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can find me on Twitch. I always do the opposite. It's always opposite day here on this podcast. If you want to see me on Twitch or view this stream from Twitch or view any content from Twitch, which is not there forever, that's why I prefer YouTube. But anyway, you can find me at EVO325 over on Twitch. And also, let me know if the audio is good, because I did some adjustments and I don't know if the audio is either going to be clear, my volume is low, I may need to adjust that. Just let me know. And those that are watching on Twitch, or even if you're not, don't care, you can find me over on YouTube. It's under DJ81, or my name, Derek Jordan. That's spelled DERRICKJORDAN. Just for those that like to, incorrectly spell my name. So, and you can find me on Twitter, DJ81. And also like to write. I have a blog site. It also contains the playlist to these episodes, so you can always catch any of the video episodes on there as well. You can go to www.dj81.org. I don't know if anyone still says www. That used to be like the early mid 2000s things to always say www. But it could be www. Clapthosecheeks.com for all I know. So, and then obviously, if you want to, I do have a donation site. You can contribute on PayPal or Zelle at evo325@gmail.com. So I see preliminaries in the chat already. He says, "What's new?" And for him, it's been a very long day. And yeah, and quite some stuff has transpired today, especially around the world of economics. Stocks went down. I pulled all my stock. Well, not all. I pulled all but 2 or 3 of my stocks, because those went a tumbling today, and that was because of reports of the inflation going up, and I mean like to the moon up. Meanwhile, Dogcoin is going straight to the toilet as we speak. I pulled my coins there too, but I made my money there. I pulled earlier after 420. I pulled out about a week later, so I got my money. I don't know who stayed on with Dog thinking it was gonna stay put, but yeah, we thought we was going to have a gas shortage, and for a day it looked like we did. Apparently the pipeline is initiating a restart, and they will be back on track within the next few days. So all these, I'm gonna just say, all these white people overreacting once again to any form of natural disaster, filling up quadruple tanks, external gas tanks with gas, thinking they was going to have a huge gas shortage. And as of right now, it seems like crisis will be averted. And all those people who not only used external gas tanks, they also used plastic bags. Yeah, if y'all seen that video, it looked like the lady was worked at that gas station, that she was filling up with plastic, filling up gasoline with filling up the plastic bags with gasoline. I thought that was weird. All right, so Villain in Black, he was like, "What's up?" He's watching on Twitch, so if you can get more people to come along with you, I know you got some type of following, and not the police, but I mean, oh no, that's not you. Well, it says Villain, but I know it's Doug Thomas, so it's one of those things where. But thank you for tuning in, Doug, from from Twitch because I haven't seen that many viewers from Twitch. I'm thinking about just letting that go, and I'll just do the podcast from YouTube. But maybe I just got to market a little bit more. So yeah, and if y'all want to, y'all give me an L because I was heading in a certain direction and it didn't work out the way I planned it. So I'm very transparent. If I'm wrong about something, if I'm off about something, y'all free to give me an L. I'm not shamed at all. Matter of fact, I find it kind of funny. In a way, my humor has no bounds. Oh, and another thing, obviously I'm stalling. But first, Doug's like, do you need me to go to YouTube? No, you can stay right there on Twitch. I always try to, the reason why I multi-stream is because I try to give people the options of where to watch. Some people like to watch on Twitch, probably got better interaction, audience interaction there. And what is it? And YouTube is what we're all used to. So a lot of the core fan base for any streamer that's been on like YouTube is YouTube. They come from there. They migrate to Twitch. Then you have all these other streaming sites. I know Spectacular Pooh does Glimish. He's been doing that. He's been jumping from site to site to get a foothold. So, I'm the type that likes to stay put where I'm at, go with my two mainstays. I don't have a big fan base at all. If I have a bunch of good people, I have a bunch of good people in this community. But, it's a team effort when that community was built. So it's not one person. It's not just me. But Subliminary Sports says Westbrook is balling. And yes, he is. And matter of fact, let me see what's going on now. Oh, besides, actually, I didn't want to tune into the Nats losing again. But let's see. It's funny because the game's on ESPN and it's on local NBC, CSN, Washington, and it's a 2-point game. I wish Washington, Atlanta were playing in a playoff game. We have a score to settle with that team when it comes to the playoffs, and especially in light of this whole thing between Bradley Beal and Kent Bazemore. That apparently his parents gave him Bazemore instead of Bitchmore. So you figure he was crying out the womb, and he's crying again. So we, like I was saying earlier before we started, we have a lot of sports to catch up on. A lot of things happened that we didn't have. What the hell was that? I just saw something like fly behind the computer screen. So if you see me like avert my attention, I just saw something fly. So that's weird. So, but yeah, we've had a lot of things take place. We had Aaron Rodgers' ever-changing relationship with the Green Bay Packers. We have a Deshaun Watson update. Everything because it's funny. Just as I predicted, a lot of things went silent on that front. So, okay, Subliminary is asking who is going number one in the. Oh boy, I don't even watch college sports. College basketball. I don't know. I have no idea who's going number one. I have no idea. I haven't watched college sports with as much intent since the maybe early 2000s. Like 2007 was like the last time I really paid attention to college sports. But my attention kind of goes with Georgetown. So when Georgetown's doing well, I'm paying attention, watching the games and stuff like that, and I know who's who. But Georgetown kind of just backing their way into the NCAA tournament kind of piqued my interest for that 1 second they were in there, and they were eliminated just like that. So I do you have an idea who you just said you have no clue? So I'm right there with you. So hopefully anybody else has a clue because I don't. Like I couldn't even tell you. Well, obviously with football, there's more there because I have more of a foothold in football than I do basketball. But that'll be interesting to see who goes first. Anybody remember who has the first pick? Did they do the lottery already? Because that's gonna really be a thing. I don't know how much stalling I can do. I remember one time I was stalling and I got somebody to pop up unannounced. And the fact that I'm stalling now, oh, there's Antonio. Hey, what's up? Antonio says, hey, DJ. So, thank you for being here. Another person over from Twitch, even though everybody is from YouTube. Some people choose to watch from Twitch. And, oh, guess who's here? Guess who's here? My boy Thad. All right, so he basically says no, they didn't do it yet. So they haven't done the draft lottery as of yet. So we don't know. We see that's the funny part. Complimentary is going to ask me, and this is like what y'all gave me an L for on first and frame rates. I asked the question and did not have the verifiable answer until after the fact. Y'all gave me an L for that. So Complimentary, you get an L for asking a question that you don't know, even though it is a guessing type of question. It's not a definitive answer. But I know it's a reach, but hey, it is what it is. So, but you know what? I'm sorry. Where are my manners? The gatekeeper of the DMV, that is Patrice. I forgot to give him his proper title that I gave him. So nice of you to show up. I'm sure he's going to regulate things on here. And to Complimentary, it's like, come on, man. Don't give me that. Don't feed me that line. And that is laughing. Complimentary is going to feed me that line. You know that line I'm talking about, Complimentary. You do it every time somebody gets rashed. Come on, give me the line. Give it to me. Give me the line. You know what line I'm looking for. Not the cocaine line, but the line. There we go. Complimentary Sports with the line of the stream. We supposed to be brothers. Oh, man. So, but yeah, we go way back to the Frostburg days. We were the Four Horsemen because we all had an interest in wrestling. It was myself, Thaddeus, Eric, and Ryan Mowry. It was the four of us. I forgot what the dorm was up at Frostburg, but we rolled together, watched wrestling, played video games on Nintendo 64. Yeah, this was back in 1998, so this was a long time ago. Thaddeus was was slimmer back in the day. I don't know how slim. He seems like he hasn't changed. I'm like, he's a person I would have as a bodyguard. There's no question about that. Y'all thought I was going to start body shaming in this bitch, but nah. He definitely bodyguard material. He looked like he'd knock somebody out real quick. So let's see. Hold on. Let me go back in order. Yeah, it was. Thaddeus was like, yep, Cumberland. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was the Cumberland dorm. I think originally, and it's funny because Ryan and I were there for football, and we got situated in that dorm right away. So it was just us two until you guys showed up for the school year. So it was kind of crazy. And I was trying to figure out how we all I'm still trying to figure out how we all hooked up because 2 cats from Wild Lake and 2 cats from DeMatha. How does that work? All right, so that's like big facts. Okay, so Complimentary has a question that says, did you play GoldenEye in the dorm? No, but we played, we played, I think it was WWF No Mercy. We were playing WWF No Mercy, maybe WC. This was on my Nintendo 64 that I had. So I brought that up. We were playing on that. I don't think all of us were playing. I know, I think Ryan had his, PlayStation with him. So he was playing Final Fantasy VII. He was all about that. He played that game every single day, even when school started, all day, every day. So, Yeah, preliminary. We were all the same age because we were all freshmen in '98, college freshmen in '98. Like I said, myself, Dad, we were college freshmen at Frostburg back in '98. Uh, let's see, Thaddeus was like he was there for music. Yeah, yeah. That see, I knew you was there for. What was Eric there for? Because it was kind of funny. No, and the biggest story out of the four of us is Eric's adventures with the women there, especially one in particular. You would never thought that was a wild situation. I am not going to talk about that on air because I don't know if because I think he's still around the area. I know I think I have his number still. I remember he gave me that because he was going off of Facebook. And Thaddeus is like, Doom was the computer network game. But wait a minute, but hold up. We had a neighbor from across from us that was from PG County. Well, it was also from PG County, but he would I forgot the dude's name. So that is was like Eric was technically there for music, but yeah, he was a wild one with that chick. Yeah, that was we and that chick was wild too. So I ain't gonna hold him on that. He was sleeping in it basically. That's all I was. That's as far as I would go. He was basically just sleeping in it. I had to dry him off with a towel afterwards. Goddamn. But but what was it? We had a person next door that was also from PG County that claimed he slept with Maya Harrison. Yes, the famous singer. And I think all of us were exchanging, like, remember, what was it? Napster. We had the free bits, like the free music that we will always like download the stuff that they considered illegal, but we were just like downloading it back and forth. And I think there was a DJ in our hallway too. That actually was the first time we heard Eminem. Was I forgot which it was the hi it was it Hi, my name is that one. That was the one we heard in the dorm. So, we got a chance to hear Eminem before the rest of the world got a chance to hear Eminem. I think it was underground at the time. So, okay, preliminary is like No Limit Records was big in '98. Yeah, it was. And it's funny because I got introduced to that to No Limit through a friend of mine while I was at Wild Lake. This was what, 96, 97? About that time. So yeah, I was familiar with Master P. My friend was bumping him 24/7 because he was different than everyone else we were accustomed to listening to. So it's just funny to hear this cat going off about Master P. And I'm like, who the hell is he listening to? And I'm listening. I'm like, that's all he says. But yeah, I'm like, he did good for himself, and the group did good too. So yeah, everybody, Doug Thomas is like, man, I remember those days. Let's see. Boy, I'm sitting there going through, and once again, I am stalling my ass off. But it seems like we can start going into sports, and then we'll just play catch up later. Let's see. Preliminary is like bout it. And then Antonio Wilson, as you see my previous comment, you didn't ask a question. So you got to, I'm like, how it works around here. Ask the question. If I missed it, then I'll let you know if I missed it. But I saw that you said you had a question, but just ask it. Like, you don't have to. One thing I will say to everyone, if you have a question, you don't have to preface it. Just ask it. So, because the faster I get the question, the better I can respond to it. But if it's something that is like I have a question, or think about this and blah blah blah, I probably will skip over it. All right. So Antonio's question is, do you think NBA Live is completely done in your opinion? I don't think it's completely done, and 2K has left the door wide open for this, mainly through their gameplay and the fact that next gen, even though it's a completely, I wouldn't say it's a completely different experience, not that I would know because I don't have a next gen console. If anybody was wondering about that, and from the looks of it, it looks like no one will have any real luck for the rest of this year. So it kind of debunks what I was anticipating. So it looks like well into 2022 we'll have this shortage going on. So that's kind of crazy. But yeah, 2K I believe leaves the door wide open for Live to take advantage of. Live, I had to go back to a previous comment I made about Live and what they need to do. They just need to focus on a theme for the game and stick with it. They really do. I'm like, and just you like the fact that they have better player movement in the game than 2K right now. So when we're talking about Live 19, they haven't made a game in like 2 years. But if a certain person is making a game, I'm sure the fundamentals will also come with a lot of strategy, in which that game already had a good foundation in strategy, AI, adaptive AI, and stuff like that. So if they can just straighten out certain things, get more signature animations, then they're going somewhere. But we'll see. We haven't heard anything official from EA Sports. The only thing we've heard official from EA Sports was through an EA call, earnings call, whatever. And Battlefield 6 was going to release on PS4 and Xbox One. So there goes your there goes the Battlefield 6 for next gen only rumor. That's gone. All right. So, and then what was it? Just going back to a previous comment, Lemonade Sports says going to class after a huge breakfast at the cafeteria, then sleeping the rest of the day. Yeah, I wish I could have. Oh, I felt like I did that. I left after a semester at Frostburg. So, and then Doug Thomas was like, "Damn, I'm glad I got mine when you did." Yeah, and it's funny because this chip shortage is always gonna affect everything else. And what they're talking about for Sony's end, there's two things going on right now. On Sony's end, they're talking about redesigning their PS5, namely their CPU chipset, going from a 7 nanometer process to a 6 nanometer process. So it would be a smaller chip size. Not that it would, but either way, they're hoping that redesign will help increase the ability to raise supply, but we'll see how that goes. And I think on the Xbox side, only thing is this applies to previous Xbox. If you're like a current Xbox One owner, there's an insiders program that they're gonna try out to give people the opportunity to reserve one of a Series X or S. But we've seen Sony try that, and I still haven't received my email from that. So I don't know how good that's going to go. All right, so we'll see. Antonio's like, I should be getting my Series S for my birthday next month. All right. Oh, for your birthday next month. Oh, cool. So you're a June baby. Oh, okay. So, all right. So we stalled long enough. I tried to go as long as I could. But why am I here? Now, I did advertise that this was going to be a sports theme, and we've kind of already like hinted or kind of talked about certain things like Westbrook. Kind of I threw out there about Aaron Rodgers' ever-changing relationship with the Green Bay Packers. That seems like that's just, I'm surprised nobody has come out with a lawsuit against them. But you know what? If you're playing quarterback, you're going to have a lawsuit if you publicly state that you are not wanting to play for the team. So Subliminary Sports is asking, what happened to Watson? Right now, since everything is silent, what's in the works is, and this is unconfirmed, that he and his lawyers are probably in the midst of settling, probably in the midst of settling, which really doesn't mean much. When you settle, you just want people to shut the fuck up. It's not, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact, because they kind of already said, hey, everything that happened, that they said that happened. It was just consensual. And they have proof that people were bragging about consensual events, even though they're suing, because now they want to come back and say, hey, I wanted money because what I thought was consensual, because my services were no longer needed. I'm going to sue and say that that was not consensual stuff that happened, activity that happened. So, yeah, that's going to be shut the fuck up money. It's unfortunate. But the thing is, you know what's going to happen? And there are teams lined up waiting for this to be resolved. I know the NFL is probably going to suspend him. And honestly, if they do him like they did Ben Roethlisberger, then they at the most he should only get 2 games, a 2-game suspension, and he'll be on a different team. They was talking. I heard rumors that Deshaun may be on a different team in 2022, but it could be, right away, depending upon who's looking for his services. All right, so wow, so we have this. The one Mr. Ham, he was like, "What's up, DJ brother? I'm glad I got an S a few weeks ago as well. Good investment, especially with Game Pass Ultimate." Yeah, I'm hearing, like, I always hear that Game Pass is like the deal of the century as far as, what it offers, what it can save you in the long run. So I'm like, if I had an S, which I technically don't want one, it's looking more tempting that if I get an S, but I feel like if I get an S, I'm not going to get the full next gen experience. I don't really consider the S a full next gen experience, but combine that with Game Pass Ultimate is really a good deal. So anybody who has an S, Game Pass is the way to go. Like, I have my PC. Like, the thing with me is that the game I really want to play right now is Returnal. Xbox doesn't have Returnal. PlayStation does. And apparently down the road, there's going to be 25 PlayStation exclusives or IPs ready to go by their time frame of that 2 to 3 year transitional period, ready to go. And we have no word of what Xbox is about to do as far as first party games. So it's going to be hell for Xbox again if they can't say they got 25 studios, but they don't got 25 games possibly lined up. So that's going to be something. It says Antonio's like, it has next gen performance, however. There's some things that the series that the One X can do better than the S. So what is it really? It's not. If to me, next gen is it does everything better than the previous generation. If there's some things in the tech that it can do better than the next generation, then whatever console that it overlaps, that's kind of like, how like you have a full stool. Xbox Series S is like a half stool. That's the way I look at it. So I'm like looking at the specs for it. Obviously, it doesn't have as much memory, processing power. It says the One X has better processing power, but obviously the graphics card belongs to the Series S. But I don't think there's clear definitions of what next gen is, and S is like halfway there, not all the way there. So just saying, because if you think about it, PlayStation has a digital version that has all the specs except the disk drive of the regular PS5 disc edition. So yeah, but $2.99. Was it $2.99? Yep, $2.99 for the Series X. All right, so let's get into it because I've waited. It's been 35, and my guest is held up at the moment. Hopefully not by gunpoint, but you know what happens. So, all right, so let's see what's going on with the NFL release. Has anybody got any words on the release? I'm gonna go look real quick. See what we got because I'm gonna look to see if they've done it. I might just go to. I hate when all these pop-ups tend to pop up because it doesn't make any sense. It looks like some schedules are leaking out right now. Let's see. But I want to go to Washington because that's my team and that's the team. But if anybody got their team's schedules out, Atlanta always has their nice little schedule. But I need to see Washington's because I wanted Washington to play Tampa in the very beginning, and they do not get Washington in the very beginning. So, okay, and Antonio's like, so the Series X will be difficult to get till 2022 also. Yep, pretty much. It'll be difficult to get to, but they're not. But here's the thing with Microsoft, it was already difficult because they weren't making as many anyway. You know, by default, Sony is going to have more supply, even though it's limited, than Series X, which is kind of crazy. But honestly, if they had not released their consoles last fall, I think they'd be in a better situation, especially with all these games that are made for the current gen. Which current gen is not PS5 or whatever. Current gen is still PS4 and Xbox One. So I think that's a Bears schedule. I want to get to Washington's schedule. And I'll be scrolling all the way. No. So as of right now, it looks like they have not gotten the Washington schedule. So I'll check on that later. I'll definitely check on that later. But yeah, so we'll give you updates on that. But let's talk about Aaron Rodgers' situation. His ever-changing relationship with the Green Bay Packers. Now, apparently the latest is that everything is quiet between the two sides because a long-term contract may be in order. Maybe things have calmed down. And usually when people go quiet in the news, because this was very public, pretty much like Deshaun Watson's, complaint about the Houston Texans. Aaron Rodgers for the last few years, it seems like he has not gotten the help that he believes he needs. I'm like, he has an okay defense, but they definitely need improvements there. He needs more targets. He only really has one. And they did sign their main running back, so at least you have help in the run game. But, the more targets, the merrier. He doesn't have to, gunsling all the time and get traits in Madden like the gambler, but it tends to happen. So it's one of those things where you would hope that he would get the targets that he deserves, but no, what happens is that Green Bay drafts a quarterback to eventually replace him instead of help. There's so they can increase their chances of winning the Super Bowl because the arms race, as Aaron Rodgers was getting no help, was getting more heated. Tampa Bay is coming off a Super Bowl victory in which they brought back everybody from that team. Like, it's unheard of in the free agency era that you can bring back everybody on your team and everybody kind of go with the flow of, okay, let my contract work with the next guy. stay under the cap so we can repeat with the same exact team that we won the Super Bowl with. So I think that's, a tribute to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers franchise. And, a detriment to the Green Bay Packers franchise that they can't even get anybody to help Aaron Rodgers. So, okay, so Complimentary is asking, is Jordan Love better than Jalen Hurts? Without really any knowledge of Jordan Love, he really didn't play. He didn't play in any games this past season. Jalen Hurts got a chance. And what you saw with Jalen Hurts was that, yeah, he's very athletic. He can throw on a run, but in the pocket, is he accurate? And I was kind of like iffy. Jordan Love, you didn't really see anything in the pros, and I'm only going to go by the pros. They're not in college anymore. So right now, as far as experience, Jalen Hurts has the experience, not by much, but playing experience. I'll go with that over just sitting and watching. So, okay, the Gatekeeper. He's like brought back everyone, then added more. Yeah, they got a quarterback. They brought in through the draft that they can just sit and let him watch Tom, because apparently Tom Brady wants to play until he's 50. Now that's not something that's new. He's always stated that if he can, he'll play until he's 50. He's like halfway there, I believe. The Gatekeeper also says Packers said Love ain't ready yet. Ain't nobody ready for Love anyhow. So what's Love got to do with it? But yeah, but here's the thing. He may not be ready, but he may they obviously knew this when they drafted him. It's just like when Washington drafted Dwayne Haskins and really didn't want to start him right away, even though he was a high draft pick, but they wanted to sit him behind a couple of starters, a couple of veteran players, so he can sit and learn. And really, he got thrown in there against the Giants, talking about his rookie year, and pretty much looked like he was not ready. He threw for 3 touchdowns, but he also threw for a bunch of interceptions. Or what was it? No, he threw for a bunch of interceptions. I don't think he threw for a bunch of touchdowns. The game was so long ago. And Dwayne Haskins is on Pittsburgh now. So it kind of goes to show that whether you're drafted in the first round or you're drafted in the 7th round, if you ain't ready to go, it should be known before you get drafted. So, because they said Dwayne Haskins, that was going to be a project, and they didn't treat him. They tried to treat him like a project, but situation called for him to play, and he got used to playing. He got complacent, and then you saw what happened last year. Now he's on Pittsburgh, and he has mad competition in front of him, and he's going to have to do a lot of work. He's going to have to work his ass off to stay on that team, because he's not on there because he has potential upside. He's on there to work. So, yeah, Complimentary is like nice. So, let's see if there's any updates on this NFL schedule. In particular, Thad, if you are following the Washington sports for the schedule, if that pops up, let me. Oh, wait a minute, hold up. I may have something. No, I just want to know my team. I don't care about anybody else's. Team schedules. There we go. All right. So let me see. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. Let me. What I'm gonna do. See if I can share the screen real quick. Because they are definitely up for Washington. I am going to share this screen. I'm not sharing audio. All right, so here we are. So these 4 games right here, well, actually not 4. There's only 3 preseason games, but these are your 3 preseason games for the Washington football team. So we do definitely have the schedules here thank God, because I didn't want to wing any of this. Okay, so Antonio's says, not sure if I will be a Packer fan if Aaron is traded. There are a lot of people will leave if Aaron Rodgers is traded. So it's kind of funny how that is. And that team is ran by the community, folks. They don't have like a real owner. So that community basically runs that team. I wish Washington was ran that way. We had no doofus, fake Tim wearing owner perpetrating, buying up all the stocks on our team, all because he wants to eventually sell the team and get all the money. He doesn't want to share it. That's why he bought the whole team, so he can eventually sell it and get all the money. So, all right, so let's look at this schedule. We're gonna look at Washington's first, and then we're gonna just peek around the league when we go to the league schedule, just to see what the games are and stuff like that. So we have the New England Patriots in week 1. These are inconsequential. Bengals in week 2, Ravens. So it's all AFC teams. And then week 1, we have an AFC team. So week 1 is against the Chargers. And it looks like these leaks were true, because according to the leaks, we were going to get the Saints in week 5. That is a home game. So got Chargers in week 1, Giants in week 2. That's going to be interesting. And it's funny because they said that the Bills, that 18th game, because remember, there are 18 games this season. There's 3 preseason games and 18 games this week, or 18 weeks, 18 games, whatever, 18 weeks, whatever. So you have the Bills in week 3. We're going to be traveling there. That's a Thursday night. How we get a Thursday night game right out the gate? What the hell is this? They really trying to throw us off. So that's going to be a short week, that week 1, and then that Thursday night game 4 days later. That's some bullshit. But you know what? They really should get the Thursday night games out the way early, because they shouldn't have Thursday night games late in the season. But I digress. So then we're at the Falcons in week 4. So, that's going to be funny, talking shit to VF. Hopefully they don't go up. Hopefully Falcons going to go up 28-3 and we storm back. Hopefully we just mashed them like we did in 91. So, and then we got the Saints in week 5. So it's going to be, I don't know if Julio Jones is going to be there, but to go, if he's still there, it's going to be funny in week 4 and week 5, Julio Jones and Mike Thomas. That's going to be crazy. And then we got, this is murderer's row. The Chiefs in week 6. Yeah, we're considered the first place team. We got our first place schedule. Here we are. That's a home game. And then we travel to Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Without him, we don't know. Week 8 is going to be at the Broncos. Are you guessing? Okay, good. No breaking on the NFL Network. So preliminary is purely guessing, almost scared me. Well, we don't play Baltimore, so it really didn't matter. But if Julio Jones goes to Baltimore, that would be, that would give them the first legit number 1 receiver since Anquan Bolden. I swear, to this day, Ravens fans got it on my ass, because I sat there and said, when they gave Joe Flacco all that money, it was at the cost of their number 1 receiver. Now, that's a cat-friendly deal. That's all I heard. And what happened? They had to cut Anquan Bolden, or they traded him. They did something, because Anquan Bolden was like, I'm not taking a pay cut. I made Joe Flacco. Don't tell me to take less money, and I made those catches. I got injured. I got knocked out that one time because he threw a Eric pass that I went for. He was on his knees praying that I was okay, not the other way around. Even though Anquan Bolden literally could have played 3 positions, because the man was a quarterback coming out of college, can play running back and wide receiver. So, if anything, Joe Flacco, it would have been Anquan Bolden playing quarterback for the Ravens. But anyway, I digress. All right, so and then we got the Broncos, and as far as Aaron Rodgers, that's another team that is in the running for Aaron if they trade him. So he can either be in Green Bay week 7 or it can be in Denver week 8. Either way, those games on the road, that's going to be, God, that's going to be killer. All right, so you have the Buccaneers in week 10. This is the rematch of the wild card game in which the Buccaneers were at its weakest. Even though Tom Brady had a good game, that game could have been won by Washington. It's just a couple plays here and there. Tom Brady made the right throws at the right times, and that's what he's paid to do. But, all the people that got on me and got on Chase Young about, oh, we want Tom Brady. We want Tom Brady. Well, Tom Brady was like, after the game, he was sweating. Everyone knows it. He's not going to show you, but he was. Trust me. So we got them in week 10, and then they're coming back to the field where the crime, back to the scene of the crime. That's what they're coming back to. All right, so, and then we always seem to play the Panthers every year. So Ron Rivera will travel back to Carolina. We'll play them in week 11. And then the Monday nighter in week 12 against the Seattle Seahawks. That's going to be, we need to beat their ass just for the cause. So, and then we travel to Las Vegas. I was about to say Oakland. I'm always going to make that mistake because they were Los Angeles. They were Oakland when I was born. They became Los Angeles. Then they back to Oakland, and now Las Vegas. Make up your goddamn mind where y'all want to play your football. But we're going to be traveling to Vegas. And as a Washington team traveling to Vegas, we have fond memories of Vegas. Hey, Golden Knights. How's that 5-game Stanley Cup series treating y'all? We didn't leave a cup there, did we? Oh, no, we just took it with us back to Washington. So, and then after that, oh boy, they said this is Murderer's Row. This is nuts. I thought dude was exaggerating, but check this out. Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. What the fuck is this? Did anyone imagine that in 18 games, you're just going to stack all the divisional games at the end of the season? You might as well flip-flop that Raiders game, the Giants game in week 2. And this is nuts. Literally, this is nuts. I thought it was just Eagles, and then, but this is crazy. Okay, so week 14 Cowboys. Week 15 is to be determined. That's interesting. So that could be the 18th or the 19th. Why is that? What's going on that makes it to be determined? So they're not sure about that game at Philly. So if I look at my calendar, the preliminary is like 5 straight division games to end the season. Damn, I know, right? Not preliminary. Doug, my fault. I'll take an L. I'll take another L for that. So, yeah, Doug is like 5 straight. That's suicide. But you know what? Hey, I wonder how many other teams got stacked with 5 goddamn division games at the end of their season. This is crazy. This is going to be fun. At the end of this is okay. Who made this schedule? EA Sports? I swear, when I was playing the franchise mode in Madden some time ago, not in the last year or so, but like when their franchise was somewhat interesting, their second year schedules were shit. And this is how it would form. They would stack teams, stack home and away games in the most ludicrous places. You had like 5 away games in a row, but this is just crazy. 5 division games in a row. Who else has that? In which now we're going to peek into, let's see, I'm going to go backwards. Hopefully it'll allow me. I'll just go to NFL.com and y'all will see me journey with this, I will go to the NFL schedule. All right, so the gatekeeper's talking about he really wants to go to the Vegas game. I'm still not keen on going anywhere, even though Governor Hogan today lifted up all the sanctions. So so got a few more minutes, and I'm probably not even going to go to the games this year. So, and then he also says we might as well have 6 division games in a row. That's what I was saying. You might as well flip that week 2 game with the Giants and flip them with the Vegas game. Let them go to Vegas early. Let Washington go to Vegas early, and then we go to we have these games in a row. So that's kind of crazy. So let's look at the season as a whole. So this is let me ask you guys this. This is up to you guys, the viewers. Do you want to peek? Are there games that you guys, weeks that you guys are interested in? Because I really don't feel like going through all 18 weeks of this, but let's look at this first week at least. So, so you got Tampa that opens up with Dallas, and I really wanted Washington to be in that slot, but somehow they just love Dallas to be front and center. So it's in Tampa. So it's at the scene of the crime of the Super Bowl. Oh, you know what? That is funny because Dallas was the last team that wanted to host the Super Bowl and went and go to one, and it didn't happen. They fell flat on their face, which is kind of crazy. So we have, let's see, this thing keeps shifting. I don't know why. All right, so Jacksonville at Houston. Don't know if Deshaun's going to be playing, but we know Trevor Lawrence will be. And now, obviously, I'm about to call them the Clippers. The Chargers versus Washington. Then we got Seattle at the Colts, Jets, Panthers, Vikings, Bengals, Cardinals, Titans, 49ers, and ain't nobody care about that, especially with Detroit. I'm about to call them the Tigers, Lions. That's like an insult to a lion to call them a tiger. Call them a cat for all I know. The Steelers and Buffalo, that's going to be a good game because we don't know what Pittsburgh has in store, but we know Buffalo has something for Pittsburgh, so see how that goes. The Eagles, the bird fight. You had the Eagles versus the Falcons in week 1. That's going to be interesting. You have the Browns at the Chiefs. I think that's going to be a shootout. Then you had the Packers at the Saints. Don't know who's going to start on the Saints because everyone thinks it's going to be Jameis Winston. But, if you're a black quarterback in the NFL, the rug could be pulled out from underneath of you quickly. So beware Jason Hill, or however you pronounce his name. So, Preliminary is looking forward to the Pats and the Bucks. What week is that one in? I can definitely look. Oh, you know what? If that's a national televised game, they actually have the schedules for those each week. They actually have it broken down. It's kind of crazy. And then you also say that rookie running back from Alabama is nice. Yeah, he got drafted by the Steelers, so I would believe he's going to help Ben extend his years if he chooses to play beyond this year. Let's see, where was I? There it is. You have the Broncos traveling to the Giants. You have the Dolphins and the Patriots. Got the Bears and the Rams. So that's going to be Matthew Stafford starting off against a familiar team, a familiar face, because being on Detroit, face Chicago twice a year is nice to start. I guess it'll be nice for him to start off against, a former rival team. And then the Monday Nighter, which is Baltimore at Las Vegas. I think that's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be something. Hopefully, Baltimore has their number one target by then, but we'll see. All right, so week 4. I just looked back and I seen it. So let's look at week 4. Let's look at week 4. So what do we have going on here? Well, obviously, the primary matchup. Let me see, where is it at? It's the Sunday Nighter. Tampa Bay. They're traveling to New England. So here's the thing. What type of crowd response will Tom Brady get? I don't think they're going to boo him, but if they do, they're a bunch of ingrates. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have all those titles. It wasn't just about Bill Belichick. I have a friend that will say that to the day he dies. So, and then it's funny, you got, let's see, the Monday Nighter, Vegas again on Monday night, but they're not in Vegas. They're going to be in Los Angeles, so it's going to be the Raiders versus the Chargers, and we're just going to work backwards here. See what game looks like could pique an interest. Trying to see. Boy. Is this that's the Thursday night game. Is this the game that's going to be in London? I don't know. So I'm looking at Jacksonville versus Cincinnati. I know Jacksonville is involved in a couple of London games. They don't really say on here, but I'm sure that it would be listed someplace else. So from these games that anybody spot anything that, looks like it could be good, worth watching? Is there another matchup that anyone knows about? Because I know you guys who are viewing this are probably looking at the schedules just like I am, not just focused on my schedule, because I only got so many arms and hands. I can only do but so much, and my primary focus is on Washington. So let's see. Let's look at the week of those. I'm gonna pick week 14. Just randomly pick week 14. So so the gatekeeper is like the Jets are playing a game in London, from what a Jets fan told me. They probably are playing Jacksonville for that game. So that wouldn't surprise me. This is an interesting game. This game between the Steelers and the Vikings late in the season, that's going to be, that's very intriguing. Oh yeah, that's right. I keep on forgetting about Justin Fields in Chicago. That's a debut that, oh yeah, that's right. He may not be starting right away, but Subliminaries mentions that he looks forward to Justin Fields playing. So that's going to be, I'm looking forward to him playing too, because I don't think Bears fans are looking forward to Andy Dalton playing. Like Dallas fans weren't anticipating Andy Dalton being on the field, but they got Andy Dalton, and the Andy Dalton they got was concussed at best. So don't know how many rabbits he can pull out of his hat. So then, so that is just like, is that Mon game or Cousins still going to play then? Oh boy, yeah. Well, according to RG3, he may be Mon may be playing at this point, because we know RG3 had plenty to say. That's another thing that happened. RG3 made the news during the draft with his comments, his very sharp criticisms of his former teammate, former best pal, number 8, Kirk Cousins. They drafted basically in summary, RG3 basically said they drafted a guy that Kirk Cousins is not. That's, yeah. And the unfortunate thing is Washington drafted a guy that you're not. And I don't like Cousins because he's fraudulent, but that's why Shanahan drafted Cousins and Daniel Snyder drafted you. and that's why I was glad that Daniel Snyder had nothing to do with the last two drafts. Because if you have one person deciding to pick, we probably would have had the other guy, the guy that's at Tennessee playing quarterback right about now. We would have had him instead of Kirk Cousins or RG3. So yeah. So the gatekeeper's getting some props from Preliminary Sports. You guys are probably in the same local, you guys are probably in the same closer proximity area down there in Southern Maryland. So, and Preliminary is asking me, what did he say? Yeah, basically, just to repeat, RG3 basically said that the Vikings picked Mons because he was everything that Kirk Cousins is not. That's in summary. That's not a direct quote. I don't want to go and quote people and then all of a sudden, I get it wrong. I can summarize people. I can, there was some stingers thrown in there, but yeah, it's definitely that Griffin did make some news as far as that was concerned. So, hopefully for the Vikings and stability wise, Cousins is playing at that point. If he's not, then their season's to shit, and Kirk Cousins will probably be gone. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's not going to matter because what does Cousins say? They pay me no matter what. I could throw 4 or 5 interceptions, the check getting cashed this week. I could take a knee with seconds off the clock with no timeouts, and we go into halftime when we were supposed to, kick a field goal or throw a touchdown pass. They pay me. I get paid in this league no matter what. I can sit the bench. You're still going to pay me. That's all he's worried about. So, yeah, basically that is backing up what I was saying. Basically, Dad says, just to answer Preliminary Sports question, basically said Mond is big, athletic, can run, and has a strong arm. Everything that Cousins is not. And just to go back into it, that is Kellen Mond better than Cousins? I wouldn't say Cousins has a solid NFL resume. As much as I don't like the guy, and as much of a fraud that he is, he does have. He did accomplish something that I've always wanted him to do, no matter where he was. If you're going to throw more than 30 touchdown passes, you definitely needed to do it while you were getting paid all this money, because you were getting paid all this money to throw more touchdown passes than 30. And the first couple of years, he was kind of hovering around. He threw 25, and then he threw 30 on the dot. And then I think this last year he threw 35. So good on you. You finally did what I expected you to do. But that's why I called you DLC Cousins for a reason. Because the only way you're going to throw more than 30 touchdown passes, they pay you the money. Pay you the money first, then you throw the touchdown passes. He actually worked the system. Game the system. He started in Washington getting those franchise tags and signing those checks then. And he continues his check signing and cashing in Minnesota. But as of right now, has only one playoff victory to boot and no Super Bowl appearances. So Kirk Cousins will probably finish his career cashing more checks than playoff victories, which is very possible because everyone cashes a check every game. But I digress. All right. So I think that'll be it for the schedule. I know you guys can go check out the schedule, NFL.com. If you're watching on NFL Network, you can guys go check out their live coverage right now. Obviously, for those that are that will be listening later on, it won't be on. Probably have to DVR the broadcast, but by then you're already looking online for these. So, adios for the schedule. So hopefully this is going to be a good season. I'm definitely looking forward to this season. I know with all the restrictions being lifted and all the vaccinations being done, hopefully there's no mandatory vaccinations, because that would be crazy. We will see full capacity stadiums all over the place. I know here in Maryland we'll definitely have it, and I think the first test of it will be what is it? It's actually this Saturday. So I think the Nationals, Capitals, because wait a minute, because remember DC. Let's see. I wouldn't say Nationals and Capitals because I know Mayor Bowser, hopefully Governor Bowser at some point in the future, is I think she's lifting restrictions in DC, so we'll probably see fuller capacity. I know. As of right now, the Orioles are going to stay at 25% capacity voluntarily. So they're actually going to be cautious on this. So Antonio asked, do you think Tim Tebow would make the Jaguars roster? I'm glad you brought that man's name up, because that definitely has made some news. I'm glad you guys are here to remind me what the news is, because my eyes, they try to be everywhere, but I can't always be thinking about everything. So Tim Tebow is signing, or probably has signed, with the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 1-year deal. He's signing on, and he's going to make that transition to tight end. And the question is, do you think he will make the roster? It depends on who's on that roster already. Because to tell you the truth, they probably didn't think much of their current tight ends to sign Tim Tebow, who basically got cut from, I guess, 3 previous squads because he failed as a quarterback. He had some good moments, like he beat the Steelers and what was the dumbest defensive call of all time. How do you call a zero blitz man coverage against a quarterback that you know what, that was the Steelers defensive coordinator thinking dumb for a second. But yeah, so he'll be making that transition to tight end, which there's another quarterback who was drafted into the league as a quarterback and made that transition to tight end, and that's our boy Thomas on Washington. But the thing is, Thomas has been playing tight end for quite some time. Tim Tebow, I went and checked his stats going back to college, going back to high school. I know he was an athlete, so it's not like he can't make that transition. It's just that it's one thing to catch a ball maybe once or twice as a quarterback, but it's another thing to do it regularly as a tight end and absorb the punishment. Because here's the thing: can this man block? He's going to be going up against people like his size. I don't know what his size is currently, but I know he's a big boy. Is he going to be able to block on the line? I know they're probably going to spread him out. He's going to be covered by linebackers. So is he fast enough still at 32 to separate away from linebackers? Is he going to be able to? Then as a tight end, the most underrated thing about a tight end is being able to run routes. No, that's a primary thing for wide receivers. But as a tight end, you got to be able to run those routes. A lot of times you'll probably get like a drag, probably get stick route, probably get like a in and out, a delay. I could see him being used on screens, like tight end screens. He could be tight end middle screen. I see stuff like that for him. I don't see him as a downfield type of tight end. He's a guy that's going to be like a safety valve. Or if they use him as an H-back, And H-back is kind of interesting because Joe Gibbs with the team formerly known as the Redskins ran a H-back system in his offense. That guy could be anywhere. He could be lined up in the backfield. He could be lined up at tight end. He could be lined up at receiver. You kind of saw that in the modern day with Chris Cooley. Chris Cooley was, I think, the most successful when he was used as an H-back versus a straight-up tight end. Either way, he was killing people. But Chris Cooley, I think, because he played the position longer, definitely was better than Tim Tebow. But Tim Tebow making the roster, it's going to depend on who's on that roster already. But if you want to get creative with Tebow, he more than likely he will make it, and he'll be used accordingly. So that'll be interesting. Now, the one question I have, excuse me, and I know some video game fans are going to wonder, what is his rating going to be on Madden? And I feel like EA Sports is going to do this thing that they did with Rob Gronkowski when they did it. Because remember, Rob Gronkowski was not injured. He was retired for a couple of years. Went into the WWE, won himself a title a couple of times, like the 24/7 championship. Lost it before he came back. They gave this man the default roster before they did their first update. This man was like an 85. I'm like, the man's been out of football 2 years. That automatically should place him in the 70s. So with Tim Tebow, he hasn't played a lick of football. He's been playing baseball in the preliminary sports is like a 94 rating. Now, Tim Tebow has been playing baseball, but actually he retired from baseball a couple of seasons back. So I know Thad has said this on Twitter, but come on, you think about it. The other question is what type of shape he'll be in. Obviously, he won't be in football shape. He has to work into it. But if you're going from baseball to football and you haven't played baseball in a couple of years, like even if you were playing baseball all this time and working out, to go from that to playing football, you might as well say you was on the couch for like 3 years. So I'm like, I know what it's like to train. I'm like, obviously playing multiple sports myself. I know what it's like. It's different muscle groups. It's different things going on, different types of conditioning for each sport. I remember playing a basketball tournament early in the day and then coming home and having to play baseball, not in a baseball game, but at least in practice. Man, I was feeling it, even though I was used to playing both sports, and I'm talking about as a kid. But man, yeah, and he's 32, trying to do this, and then I know the complaint is, oh, he's taking another roster spot from a young cat. And in the NFL is about who you know that gets you in the door, and Urban Meyer is right there. They're familiar with each other, so. And it just seemed like it just came out of nowhere. But one thing it probably would help, Trevor Lawrence, if he has a reliable safety valve and it happens to be Tim Tebow, that would be funny. So preliminary is like they're going to create a new rating called leader and give him a 99. Religious leader, possibly. And that's funny because I remember when he was playing quarterback, when he was doing all the kneeling, everybody was like, oh my God, he's our hero, blah, 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 blah. But RGD was doing the same thing. It was like, fuck that. I'm not going to say it in word on here. But it's just crazy that, that, again, quarterbacking while black gets you different results than if you were the other way. But I think he'll make the roster at the end of the day. He'll be that safety valve, but he'll probably be like tight end 2 or 3. I don't see him being tight end 1. I don't see it, but Urban Meyer may see it. And I don't know. Urban Meyer been sitting on the couch too. All right, so let's move on from football, and I knew this was going to be I thought this was going to be an hour, but this is going to go a little long because, like I said, this is meant to catch up on everything that I missed. And once again, I've been stalling this whole entire time for waiting for my guest to come through. And it's an hour and 20 minutes. I don't even know if I should wait anymore. But let's go. Let's get into our Russell Westbrook. So Monday, he broke the career triple-double number of triple-doubles career-wise. The number was 187. He was tied with Oscar going into Monday night's game, in which late in that game, he broke Oscar Robertson's record, triple-double record, career, mind you, career triple-double record. He's sitting at 188, and let me see, because I know the game's on now. Hopefully Washington's winning because they're playing for a play-in spot. Let's see what the score is. Oh, thank God. They're up by 5, but that could go in a second. So he now is the king of triple-doubles in the NBA, and there's plenty of talk about him being a top 5 point guard of all time. All I can say right now is congratulations to Russell Westbrook for becoming the king of triple doubles. I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's amazing how he's done it throughout the years, how at the age of 32, he still continues to do it. It's like he does everything. And like I go back to when we first got Russell Westbrook in the trade, in which I remember Bills and myself, we were talking about the fact that I felt like chemistry-wise, Wall and Beal were the better chemistry-wise. But I'm like, if you talk about outright production, Westbrook, especially this season, definitely is way better than Wall. And Wall, unfortunately, his season ended in injuries once again. So it was unfortunate that, that trade did occur. And we actually know why that trade occurred. That was because of that video that came out. As much as the organization didn't want to admit it, it was because of the video. And it was funny because this man apologized for the video and it got traded anyway. But it was the thing where it was like throwing up gang signs and stuff like that. The thing that Philly did with Deshaun Jackson, but I ain't gonna hold him. But so what Russell Westbrook, call him Hustle Westbrook, but right now there's a dogfight in Atlanta. Right now, Washington is up by 2 with just over 2 minutes left in the game. It's gonna be a barn burner towards the end. We owe these motherfuckers. But Tons needs to just hit a goddamn 3. I get tired of him missing in action in certain moments of this game. Oh, good. Play some defense, finally. But Russell Westbrook and what he's... Oh, God. Here we go again. Russell... Oh, wow. This is getting sloppy. Oh, wow. People diving out of bounds. But what Russell Westbrook has meant to this team, especially when he got healthy, because that was one of the things that we did not... Well, I think we were kind of aware, but everyone was like, oh, that man's washed, and it looked like he's not himself and whatnot. But the fact that he started the season playing on like a torn, torn quad, because you see how explosive he is now. God damn, somebody hit a shot. The fact that the way he explodes now versus how he started at the beginning of the season is kind of crazy. That, there's a difference between there's a big difference between the start of the season. Matter of fact, there was a rule that Scott Brooks had for Westbrook, and that was no dunking. Obviously, when somebody make a shot, grab the ball. I hate when they play volleyball with the ball. Just grab it. Damn. But Scott Brooks had a rule on him, and that was no dunking. And that was for a reason, to protect his quads. Oh yeah, that definitely is out on Atlanta. All right, so Antonio, he asked this question: do you think he's behind Magic Johnson? Well, seeing as that he's had more career triple doubles than Magic Johnson, but the fact is, Magic Johnson has championships. Um, Magic Johnson was pretty much an icon. Was basically the league, him and Larry Bird. Um, I'm like, Magic Johnson meant so much to the league back then. Russell Westbrook, I'm like, he does so much, but you never really saw Russell Westbrook as a face of the league. You can talk about two different eras. I still kind of I would consider him, Russell Westbrook, behind Magic Johnson, but he definitely is the next person behind Magic Johnson. I wouldn't put anybody between them two. I don't think they're. I'm like, and you have a host of other point guards, but it's like when you look at Curry, you look at Steph Curry with these outrageous 3-point barrages and scoring outputs, but can he average a triple double every night at the point guard position? No, he hasn't. Chris Paul, probably the closest person to do it. God, somebody about to get stole here in a second. But can CP average a triple double every night? And that everyone thought that was another person that could do it. The one person that thought that Oscar Robertson's record was not going to be broken, was impossible, was Jason Kidd. And Jason Kidd obviously winds up being wrong. See what the Wizards do here. Wow, this is crazy. This is a crazy scene here. Oh boy, this is for wow. This is crazy. So Atlanta just went ahead by 1 with 24 seconds. So it looks like the Wizards can hold out for the last shot. But I don't know what happened on that last play. It just seemed like Washington just could. They tried to get to the basket, but they got blocked and could not. Wow. I swear, that's the one thing about defense. You got to have it. I'm like, Atlanta's definitely showing it. So, okay, so preliminary, they're saying people say I could have been what? So it's preliminary says people said he could have been Russell Westbrook. I'm gonna need to see some tape. If they're saying that, then I'm calling cap on that. I'm calling cap on that. So, and then preliminary once again, trying to cheer on the Wizards. I'm trying to pull for them too, because I'm trying to get them to knock out. I think because Chicago plays Brooklyn tonight, so they definitely have. If Brooklyn beats Chicago, Washington definitely is in the play-in, because I think that eventually eliminates Chicago. Chicago's the last remaining team in the East that could possibly slip in for that 10th spot. But I need Washington to come on through. And they have to attack the basket. I don't want to see what happened on Monday, which is another thing. I was kind of like the downside of breaking Oscar Robertson's record. That Russell Westbrook had the chance to win the game, and there's a whole lot of controversy on how that game ended, but he came down and he took a shot that I thought was ill-advised. I thought he could have gone to the basket like Neto. Oh my. Wow. That is Wizards just cannot catch a break. That is nuts. But yeah, Russell Westbrook could have gone to the basket. I thought he had a lane. Apparently Scott Brooks thought he had a lane. That's why he never called timeout. And Wow. And Gafford can no, that's not Gafford, that's Lynn. And Lynn can grab that? How's Lynn that if you're still watching, your boy Lynn can't grab a rebound for some reason. The dude is like 7'3" for nothing. That's just crazy. They're about to lose this game. Do they have any timeouts left? Yeah, this is crazy. So let's see. What else? You know what? This is what I'm gonna do next week. Because I'm probably gonna end it right here. Because it's still some AEW left. So I'm probably gonna cut it right here. But next week we're gonna come back with more of a sports theme because there's not enough that I'm gonna be able to cover by myself. Like I said, I was expecting a guest, and I guess he got held up. And things they work out, they do. They don't work out, we just keep rolling. So preliminaries, like I will bring the tape too. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. I'm like, I tell you right now, if you look up Derek Jordan, Wild Lake High, and state championship 1997, you'll read the article on a hook and ladder and a halfback pass for a touchdown. I don't think you'll see any pictures because I've been looking for any pictures. I have my own clips. I had the video. Somebody took it from me back then. And shoot, I've posted the actual touchdown at Bird Stadium online too, so I can always produce that. I got that on my Facebook. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. And I don't know what's gonna happen here. The Wizards are now down by 3. I think they should go for a quick 2. But the way it's been going on, Nick Capella is Wild Lake. Say Westlake. Who makes that mistake? Westlake High. No, Wild Lake. WILDE, as in Oscar Wilde. Lake. Oh boy. Here we go. All right. Davis. Oh, he was short all the way. Wow. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. We paid you all that money for you to miss all these shots. What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Davis Bertans is just... And you knew he hit the front of the rim. If he stopped fading away, maybe he would have made the shot. Yep, game over. Because we don't have a 4-point play unless he gets fouled on another 3-point attempt that he goes short on. But oh boy. All right. So I'm happy that everybody showed up for this week's episode. I was wondering how it's gonna go. Yeah, that's game over. Atlanta wins again, 120-116. Trying to figure out what happened over on the Brooklyn, Chicago side. But that's another game that Washington had that they could have won, and just down the stretch, just cannot hold the lead. And that's going to cost them in these playing games if Chicago won tonight. Because if Chicago won tonight, it gets them one game closer to catching the Wizards for that 10th spot. But it's crucial having Bradley Beal out there. So hopefully he's healthy. Oh, and that's the last thing. I did make a reference to the Kent Bitchmore earlier. The reason why I call him a bitch, well, one, because Bradley Beal called him out on it. But at the same time, Bazemore is the same guy in the playoff game who tried to end John Wall and Beal all in the same playoff series. Try to undercut him. And he wants to make a joke about injuries. I think it's a low blow. I think he can go fuck himself. And yeah, you're going to sit there with people blowing hamstrings and then pause. He knew he was talking about he was joking. Fuck that. He was not joking. No, you don't be throw subliminals and then come back later, be like, oh, I was just joking. No, you weren't. We seen the look on your face. I think with videos don't lie. When you said that, you paused, you hesitated, like, oh, should I say this? And then you said it, and then afterwards, like, I shouldn't have said this. And Bill made you instantly regret it, to the point where you had to come back and try to make it look like, oh, I was only joking. Well, we can't joke anymore. That's why your ass is on the bench. Nobody wants you on Golden State anyway. So, yeah, call that man Kent bitch more from now on. And he was always a bitch. Like I said, dirty ass player. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna end it on that note. Maybe go through the roll call. So we got Subliminary Sports. Thank you for coming by. Antonio, thank you for coming through. Yeah, the gatekeeper of the DMV, Thaddeus Patrice. Thank you for coming through. Villain in Black is like, have a good night. Same to you, be safe. And let's see. Go continue through these roll calls. Who else came through? Just going back. Doug Thomas came through. Thank you for stopping by. And let me do a quick shout out to Thaddeus's podcast, because my mind's trying to blank, and I want to properly give him his shout out for his podcast. They actually went live earlier today. God damn it. I'm always okay. There we go. So basically, on his podcast, him and I think your host is your co-host is Jeremy, or Jeremy's the host, and you're also a panelist. But it's on. They have a podcast called the Sports Reality Podcast. Now, I guess they go live every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4, if I'm not mistaken. I know today you went live earlier today at 4, and you guys were talking about I was reading it right there. You guys were talking about the Knicks and what's been going on with Steph Curry, who's also been experiencing a hot light bright summer. So yeah, so there are a couple of dudes from the area. Like I said, my connections to that. I don't really know Jeremy that much, but like I said, hopefully like we all connect, and I've watched their show a bunch of times. Like I said, they have a good thing going on over there. Keep it up, and always communicate, always stick together. That's the best advice I can give as a person that comes from a podcast featuring more than two or more people on a show, because that's like the main thing. So other than that, I'll be back next week. I'll definitely have more sports related topics, but but overall the main theme of the show is still going to be variety. We're going to sprinkle everything else on top of what sports topics I bring to the table. So other than that, hopefully you guys have a safe night. Enjoy the rest of these games tonight. And if you're playing video games, enjoy your favorite video games. If you have Returnal, you definitely have a good game there. And if you even have Resident Evil 8, as much as I still don't like the direction they went in, but they've actually convinced. I'm not buying it, because I said what I said. I'm not gonna buy it. I just definitely don't like the direction that they went in, but watching the gameplay, they made some connections that I didn't think they were gonna make. So it surprised the hell out of me. So other than that, you guys have a good day, have a good night. And be easy. And also make sure you check this podcast out. If you just want to listen, check it out on Spotify and check it out on SoundCloud. Now, the links will be out after they upload. So other than that, you guys take care. Peace.